Hong Kong. Hundreds line up for last Apple Daily edition. In its final edition, the pro-democracy newspaper said it was a victim of tyranny. The publication's 1 million copies were sold out before noon.
Here's a summary of the article.
Hundreds of Hong Kongers lined up on Thursday to snag the last print edition of pro-democracy newspaper Apple Daily. Apple Daily routinely criticized Chinese and Hong Kong officials for limiting the city's freedoms not found in mainland China, and accused them of not following a promise to protect the semi-autonomous territory for 50 years after the 1997 handover from Britain. While the implementation of the extradition law was shelved, protesters continued to take to the streets demanding more security for Hong Kong's autonomy. Taiwan's edition of Apple Daily said it would continue operations. While pro-democracy media outlets still exist in Hong Kong, Apple Daily was the only newspaper of its kind left in the city. The arrests leading up to the newspaper's closure were the first time that the national security law had been used against journalists for something they had published. More than 100 people have been arrested under the security legislation, including Apple Daily founder Jimmy Lai.
This post received a score of 20,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The world is going in a bad direction.
Can they not just go digital like some papers, magazines in the West? They could probably put the servers in Taiwan. Edit. Thanks for the downvotes. So much more effective than teaching me how this wouldn't work. I just assumed that as they can use Twitter and Reddit and Facebook that they, the people of Hong Kong, can get around any bans. Edit 2. Now I have to edit again because I got a lot of upvotes. You're all crazy. Thank you for making me understand this more. It's appreciated. Their issue is that their financial assets got frozen, not anything particularly about publishing a newspaper. If you can't receive payments or pay your staff, you can't run a business, no matter if it's a physical newspaper or a digital one. Thank you, that makes sense. Surprised I didn't realize that.
FYI, the power of freezing all of Apple Daily's financial assets come from the national security law. In a Western society, such violation will only affect that particular individual. Not mentioning the way they charge people with national security law. Imagine getting charged because the government thinks that you are violating the law but not because of valid evidence.
Well, technically they froze Jimmy's assets, and since he owns 90% of the company had no money.
He owns approximately 70% of the company and the rest is publicly traded. There were worries about hostile minor stakeholders with 15% share could do malicious decisions to the company since Jimmy Lau was not allowed to vote with his shares. But it doesn't matter now.
Final print going to be worth a lot later on.
Only because China will probably be hunting him down to burn.
I sold Hong Kong protest flags online while they were at their peak and the Chinese government intercepted one of my packages and sent it back while it was being sent to Hong Kong. There's a very small chance the papers don't make it through the postal system. Apple Daily generally aligns with the pan-democrats and the student movements, and the HK-Gov's newfound power to shut down a major newspaper is a tragic blow to HK's press freedom. Nevertheless, anyone who's actually read this newspaper for years would know that it's a populist tabloid, the likes of Daily Mail, that has fear-mongered for years about immigrants from the mainland and South Asia, calling the former locusts. It frequently uses misleading but eye-catching headlines and promotes conspiracy theories. I personally find their tactics reminiscent of those of Fox News.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.